I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
This is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review. There's another paid request, this time from Alban. And for those interested in requesting pretty much anything, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now this is for Cape Fear from 1991. And this is a film I always forget that Martin Scorsese directed. It's a remake. I never saw the original. I know the original had Gregory Peck and Robert Mitchum, but again, never saw it. Originally, this is a film that was supposed to be directed by Steven Spielberg, but he deemed it too violent, which is weird. He deemed it too violent, but then did Schindler's List, which I would think, okay, maybe these too violent, but that's definitely a more depressing film, but okay. Now, with Steven Spielberg directing, I think he wanted Bill Murray as the villain, which that would have been pretty fucking bizarre. Bill Murray as Max Cady. I mean, I'd be interested to see that. I really would. And Bill Murray's an asshole in real life, so I love Bill Murray as a comedic genius. I love a lot of his movies. But he seems like a complete asshole as a person, so I think he could play the role very well. That would have been interesting to see. And obviously that didn't work out. Spielberg, I guess, was a producer, but he didn't want his name on the credits, but he was a producer. And then Scorsese directed it. Now, Scorsese, you have Robert De Niro as the villain, but he wanted Harrison Ford as the hero. Or the lead, I should say. Sam Bowden. He's not really a hero, but the lead. And Harrison Ford just wasn't sure about it. I think he would have done it if he played the villain. But he wasn't sure. I like Nolte. I think it would have been very interesting. I do think it would have been better. Because I like Nolte. I think he does a good job in the part. But I think Harrison Ford would have been even better. Not because I think Nick Nolte is bad, but Harrison Ford is the lead, and Harrison Ford versus Robert De Niro, I think that would have been pretty damn good. And Harrison Ford as the family man, but then when you look at films like Presumed Innocent and such, he did, or The Beginning of Regarding Henry, he did, he's not completely a saint. There's a little bit of a gray area. And yeah, I really would have preferred Harrison Ford as the lead when I read that. But again, Nick Nolte did a good job as one of his better acting roles. But just, I guess I'm just a bigger Harrison Ford guy. Now, it's the way Scorsese directs this, and the plot of the film is Robert De Niro is Max Cady, who's been in jail for like 14 years or so. he gets out of prison, and he starts to stalk the defender who put him there, played by Nolte, who has a family. His wife is played by Jessica Lange. His daughter is played by Juliette Lewis. And pretty much Robert De Niro is stalking them, fucked with them, poisons their dog, seduces, then beats the shit out of Ileana Douglas, who is Nolte's co-worker and friend, even bites a chunk out of her face. And things ratchet up from there. He uses the system against Nolte's character. The family starts fighting with each other because of the stress and because of previous problems they had in their marriage. And the movie goes on from there and there. At one point, they got to hire a private investigator played by Joe Don Baker. Robert Mitchum is in the film as a cop who can't do much. Gregory Peck is in the scene. He's in one scene as a lawyer defending Robert De Niro in one bit of the movie. It has a pretty decent cast. Robert De Niro, I know a lot of people found him scary. I always found him funny in the movie. I found him more funny than scary. This is a movie that definitely approaches camp, whether it be from the performances, with just how over-stylized Scorsese makes it. It's like, you could tell that Martin Scorsese really wanted it to be like an Alfred Hitchcock film, to the point that I'm surprised it wasn't Brian De Palma that directed this instead of Scorsese. It's very stylized. Some would say over-stylized. From simple stuff like when Robert De Niro gets out of prison, he's walking, he walks right into the camera, and it cuts to... There's a bit where Ned Nolte and Jessica Lange are having sex, and this weird, not infrared, but this weird like color scheme goes on to them, and it fades, and then Jessica Lange's putting on makeup and lipstick, and then the screen goes to red. I'm like, okay, it's kind of fun, but it's like, I don't know if it needed this much, like, over-stylization. The score by Elmer Bernstein, taking a theme for Bernard Herrmann, with that famous theme, which I grew up with that from The Simpsons. Just The Simpsons, they took this movie and they parodied it a lot, in particular with Sideshow Bob, a character voiced by Kelsey Grammer. And Sideshow Bob wanted revenge on Bart Simpson, so they would use the music from Cape Fear, and at least from the beginning would use stuff like later in the film, Robert De Niro hides under a Jeep as they drive all the way there. Sideshow Bob does the same thing. And you have that theme. Ba, da, 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 da. And at the end of the day, I would say the movie's entertaining. You know, Robert De Niro, like I said, I never thought he was scary. I thought he was a bit more entertaining. Come out, wherever you are, counselor. Him busting a gut, laughing at Problem Child of all movies. Yes, John Ritter and Problem Child are playing in the movie theater. I'm like, I don't remember Problem Child being that funny. But I've never been a big Problem Child fan. I mean, if it's, I don't know, Beverly Hills Cop or See No Evil, Hear No Evil or The Burbs or something, I can understand. But Problem Child? Okay. Just a weird movie choice that they have in the movie theater. I forgot all about that because it's been forever since I've seen it. It's like, it's Problem Child? Okay. He's laughing, busting a gut, smoking in the movie theater. And Robert De Niro's having fun. He's having fun with the role. He bulked up for the role. He's got all these different tattoos and religious stuff on his body. And De Niro, you know, he's insulted being offered money, and he's having fun with the role. Like I said, it's approaching camp, but he's having fun. You know, he's raping the girl. You don't see a lot of it, which we didn't need, but he bites like a chunk of her face off, which I forgot about. And then that Ileana Douglas won't testify. I don't blame her. If someone bites a fucking chunk off my cheek, I ain't going to testify. The movie is a bit long. It's over 2 hours. I don't know if this movie needed to be over 2 hours long. Juliette Lewis, I think she was nominated for an Academy Award for this performance. I don't fucking know why. Maybe I'm wrong in that. Maybe I should look, but I swear she was nominated for an Oscar for this movie. I go, what? Really? Why? Let me look real quick before... This was a big box office hit. This is probably one of Scorsese's biggest hits, especially at the time. And But yeah, it's a film no one really brings up. Let me double check. Yeah, Best Actor and Best Supporting Actress Juliette Lewis. Why? Why was Juliette Lewis nominated for Best Supporting Actress for this role? She plays a girl that acts like she's 10 years old, even though she's a 16-year-old? I think she's supposed to be 16, but she acts like she's 11. But her acting was worthy for an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actress. And I don't even hate Juliette Lewis. I liked her in From Dusk Till Dawn. She was fine in Natural Born Killers. This, I don't know if I would say her performance was awful. It just, again, seemed weird because, like I said, she's acting like she's 11 even though she's 16. And it's like, I don't think it's Academy Award worthy. That boggled my fucking mind. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's weird. I mean, not weird, but it's off. I'm not big on her performance, but I don't think it's the worst thing ever. But it's not an Academy Award worthy. You know, she was nominated. She didn't win, but just to be nominated, I thought that was fucking weird. And then Nolte gave a better performance, and he wasn't nominated. But whatever. But I just, the Best Supporting Actress feel was slim pickings in that time period for her, whatever. I do like Joe Don Baker. I actually thought his character was kind of fun and interesting. I like the piece of dialogue. There's a piece of dialogue he has with Nolte when they're making a trap at the house. He's talking about fear. I kind of wish Joe Don Baker was the star of the film, or it was from his point of view, or we were following more of this character. I actually think that would have been a very interesting take on Cape Fear. But that's not what they wanted to do. Or again, Nick Nolte does a good job, but Harrison Ford, I think, would have been better. I don't want to seem like I'm damning Nick Nolte, because he does a good job where, you know, he's being nice to his family. He's trying to be upfront with Robert De Niro and to leave us alone. And when he needs to get angry, Nolte can do that very well. And there's a couple violent moments. I say it gets a bit too long in the tooth. It gets a bit silly at the end. Spoiler alert, where there's some decent physical effects where the family and De Niro on this houseboat is going through a storm and through these rapids, and the way Scorsese's dealing with the camera, where there's a point where Nick Nolte is getting flipped up and the camera like goes in a circle to showcase the chaos of inside this houseboat. Or this big, I appreciate that direction wise, but it's like De Niro, he gets his whole face on fire from this lighter fluid, and then he's still alive, and then he's handcuffs anchored to the boat, and he's almost, you know, then Nolte's ready to smash the face in, but then he gets carried away, and De Niro speaking this gibberish, which is like tons. I just maybe think he's going to go into the fucking afterlife and go to heaven or whatever. I mean, that just made me bust a gut laughing. Well, not bust a gut, but I was laughing. I'm like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be laughing at this. That's me. At times it becomes campy or close to camp. At times it becomes. I like style. I love when people be stylish in movies. If I want to speak to the English, I like style. There are times I just felt it was a bit going too far into that. So maybe that's why I didn't really feel suspense. That's the thing. I never really thought this was a suspenseful, scary movie. Just the big score. I like the score. Ba, 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 da, da, da. But it's so big and grandiose of a score, I never feel any fear or tension or suspense. So the score, Robert De Niro's performance, the over stylized direction. This for me, it's more entertaining than scary. It's more fun than suspenseful or tension fueled, which is a positive and a negative. It's a positive because it's not too boring. It's a negative because if it's supposed to be, in the suspense, I never really felt the suspense. Like I said, when it's approaching a bit of camp, that takes away any amount of terror, if that makes sense. But still, Robert De Niro was fun. Joe Don Baker, I wish he was more the star of the movie, because, I don't know, I liked his character. I liked his interactions with De Niro, going toe-to-toe with him verbally, not shying away from De Niro's character. Juliette Lewis, I don't think she deserved a nomination for the role. I'm sorry. Having cameos from the cast of the original Cape Fear, it was interesting. Because I know of the original, I just haven't seen it, but I know of it. And, Elmer Bernstein did a nice job in the score. Elmer Bernstein, of course, did the score of the Ghostbusters, among others. Like I said, it was a big hit when it came out. And, it's not my favorite Scorsese film. I would put Goodfellas above it. I would put The Wolf of Wall Street above it. But yeah, for a Scorsese flick no one really mentions anymore. Not a bad film. Not a bad... Well, I say not a bad remake. But I'd be curious what fans of the original Cape Fear think of it. They may not like it because of this almost camp level, which I can understand. Let's say, anytime I think of this, I would think of Sideshow Bob and The Simpsons. And him stepping on a rake and hitting him in the face. Like I said, decent film. It's not a film I rewatch a lot, but, I don't think it's that bad of a movie either. Like I said, there's some running time that could be shaved here and there that seems a bit too goofy. There's the bit with him and Juliette Lewis where he's pretty much the big bad wolf to Juliette Lewis's Red Riding Hood. And, maybe that's a scene that you could attempt the most of suspense compared to the rest of the movie. But again, just Juliette Lewis's performance where maybe she was told that like she's 10 or 11, even though she's 16. It just kind of a strange vibe to her performance. That's just me. But with this said, again, not a bad film. So thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.